anymore. We move to the game. In this game, Karol took black and Danyl took white. Black jumps, yes, all makes sense up to now. Though it's good to know a value of this move for white and for black. After white plays here, it makes sense for black to push. Or maybe better to play this knight's move, which creates a potential annoying continuation, and if white plays here, then well, it's a nice way to build a moyo. And at this point, I think still this push of white is the strongest move. If black plays Hane, white can cut, and certainly this stone will help white in the fight which follows. So, for example, the fight can go somewhere along these lines. Yeah. So this push, and if black is forced to extend, then white is very happy with such a push and can push once more, once again challenging black. Even though this is a 6th line territory, it's not that efficient because black didn't take much of the corner, and there is that stone which maybe can be located in a better way, taking into account such a shape of black. So it's alright to push from above like that. Instead, white reduced from the other side. Alright. Also fine. And well, I expect that white will play another move somewhere else on the board, but white jumps in. And this jump in doesn't look very logical for me, because now the AB exchange seems to be bad for white. It would have been better to jump in right now, in my opinion. For example, if black decides to split white, white jumps out. Later, will white play from the top? Is it not more possible for white to play from the bottom? Or maybe white can right now play like this and cross cut, and later try to somehow squeeze black. Something like this. Or even this one. But all these options are not available after the exchange, so probably better to invade right away. And this is possible. This is a big move, in fact. I mean, of course there are other big moves on the board, but we can jump in. Okay, white played this move first, then jumped in. Also good. Black finds the strongest answer, which aims at capturing white's stone. But even if black captures it, white can actually sacrifice it in a good manner, I think. Now white plays here, and maybe it's not center. Maybe it is not, but it's a bit annoying when white starts to continue this fight. It is going to be annoying for black. Especially that there might be a way to live in a KaC even. But even without that possibility, how many more liberties does black have than white? Probably it's one liberty capturing race, just by looking at it. Maybe two. No, actually, okay, 1.5 kind of. 1.5. If it is like this and white can get all these moves on the outside, it's a super good result for white. Really good. So don't be afraid to lose your stones in this fashion. Just sacrifice them. And then you can enclose. And your opponent does not have a way out. But if your opponent is going to now spend a move like this or like that, then it's already a compensation for you. You gain center, you enclosed black in center. Maybe you can still play here, and still in the future you will be able to create a Samedori, to annoy black, forcing black to use moves to kill your stones in his territory. So yeah, this is just a good way of playing. That one was another way to sacrifice the stone, but it didn't unleash the full potential of that stone. Really, the potential is bigger. So what would I recommend for black? Well, I think this move is best. This move is best. If white jumps out, we jump out, and white has a weak group. We also have a weak group, but our group should be stronger than white's. I mean, it should be easier for black to manage this group than for white to manage his, and certainly black is happy that he's already strong on the other side, having quite a territory there. Yes. So this move is not best because it gives white an opportunity to play a beautiful sacrifice, unless black is going to play like this, which is maybe better, but looks a bit unlogical. But okay, yeah, maybe this is better. Yeah, black should play like this. Black doesn't have the stone at b5, but instead black has a better shape on the outside, so it makes sense. Certainly, yeah, I am quite certain that it's better than trying to kill and suffer. Then white ignored, black ignored, which is quite a good idea because this is actually small. However, we need to remember that white might try to use such a trick and fight. We will see it later. For now, we see a Joseki here, and then black descends. This makes sense, and cuts and plays from the outside. This is wrong because we can simply play here. What are we afraid of? Anyway, white is going to extend, and then do we want this exchange? Why would we want this exchange? This is a bad exchange. We can play this exchange as in the game, but then we of course prefer to push. Or let's push first before we make things obvious. For now, white cannot Hane for sure, because there is too big of a liberty problem. So, actually still. So, white is going to extend. Then we can play here now or later. But if we play the exchange first, then after our move, white can jump, which is certainly better. White has just stronger shapes right now. So this was a mistake by black to cut. This is really unnecessary. You should, in this shape, you should simply Hane. Of course, your opponent cannot double Hane because of the liberty problem. So you play once, then push again, and maybe then you can still find space in your opponent's area. This is the normal way of play. Like this, I'd recommend jump. This is a good shape. Instead, white tried to take points immediately, but then it proved quite difficult. Black plays this move, and then, yeah, what can white do? If white splits like this, white already has a bad shape, and the points are not points. They are, white cannot seal the territory. White tried another move, but then black used a liberty problem in white's shape in a perfect manner. For example, now white cannot cut because the stones die in a ladder. I know that it doesn't look like a ladder, but it actually is a ladder. White cannot run out, and later if white is forced to play like this, white dies. So white needed to play like that, but then still it's as bad. Black, I mean not as bad, but still very bad. Black managed to break into white's area, and white really got such a bad result from a position where the result should have looked like this. That's very, very unfortunate. White could have created such a beautiful bottom side, and instead white is completely squeezed in his own area. Then white starts a fight, but black managed this fight very well. I don't know why not this. This simply works, so there is no reason to not play that one and instead play the other move, which takes less points. Yeah, the game became bad for white after black managed to break in, but still we should somehow continue, probably with this move, but we will see this move later. For now, white decided to play these exchanges. Well, it is a few points, but I think not big enough. The position looks like this, and white still was not able to connect, so only later white can connect, threatening to cut. Maybe if we already play, it's better to directly connect, because then at least our opponent will answer. And this is really not so big. But white decided to take these points, and then black plays elsewhere, a very powerful move, but maybe also possible to simply focus on enclosing this side, even though it feels very natural to play on the top side, but this side is just so big. Maybe it's enough to play like this, but it cannot be a mistake. Then white enters with the shoulder hit. That's the correct way. Yes, that's all correct. I think that, well, black is playing from his strength. Maybe better to simply focus on taking points where we don't have strength and pushing white into our strength. Of course, it's not a way to threaten the group this much. White won't have too hard time helping the group, but this is a very, very big compensation for, I mean, very good use of this influence on the other side of the board. If we play like that, it's risky that, or especially this move, it should be somewhere here. Now black takes a very risky way. Oh, and no way. No, you cannot play like this, take away the eye. Just take your points. If you play like this, you are really going to suffer from your own decisions. It's enough for white to push twice and then play a move like this or like that, or I don't know. It's not maybe so obvious how to choose, but for sure white will manage to run out, and then everything what black can hope to make here will be not enough to compensate for the loss of the potential territory on the top side. So instead of playing something like that, sorry, just choose this variation, the simplest variation. The influence will anyway give you some points in the future, but for now take points from where you are weak, where you are not settled yet. But unfortunately, very unfortunately, white played in a manner which did not work. So for now, white is not strong enough to jump in. White must push at least once more. Probably once again. If black plays here, all right, we take control over the center. And if black plays this one, we can jump in and simply erase all of black's points. And black is not going to kill us, I don't believe it. Maybe it's not a strong enough argument, I don't believe it in GOM. But if we play carefully, this really shouldn't happen, that black kills us. Black is thin himself. Yeah. If we are afraid of such fight, what else can we do? Here. Maybe here. And Hane. This is already quite something for white, right? Of course, black cannot play like this. This is terrible for black. Maybe this is a different way, but still white can be somehow satisfied with such a reduction. So yeah, maybe this attachment. And if black plays from the top, okay, again it becomes a scary fight. Difficult to avoid a scary fight, unfortunately. Difficult to avoid a scary fight. Somehow we need to find something here. Try to just live in the corner without making the outside weaker. Like this, black is not going to kill. Yeah, so probably something like this would be a correct way of playing. And this is not really a move. When you see a die-die gema, a very large kema, very large knight's move, then on the third and fourth line, you don't go into it on the fourth line, you go into it on the third line, almost always. The move on the fourth line can be very easily answered by white with the bottom attachment from the bottom, and then there is no good continuation for white. So here this happened, but this is For sure not enough of a compensation. That's unfortunate. And then black plays first elsewhere on the board. So the game is difficult for white, I believe, just from how the flow of the stones was before. Black has 25 points here, here another 22, so 47. Easily it will be 57-60, and white can hope for 35, 45, 58, plus commi 65. But unfortunately black has much bigger potential around here, and white has only a weak group. So maybe when it comes to sure points, sure territory, it's not tragedy, but it will be very difficult to win this game for white. White plays here. Yeah, I think it's correct to play this a bit further move. If we play like that, black will probably simply start making points. But here, black played in such aggressive fashion, and this is the last fight of the game. And I think that black it's too much what black did. What if white extends? Does black play from this side? Letting white... How to play it? Of course it's not easy for white. Like this. Not enough for white, though we gain something. We gain a thickness, but maybe it's not enough to win the game. Anyway, like this we fight somehow. And if black plays around there, then black risks even more for sure. Can this fight be good for black? Well, it can. Powerful play by black, quite unexpected way of playing. Alright, maybe there is indeed a weakness in white's shape, and if it is the case, white should attach. If black plays here, white takes a profit somewhere else and will later aim at destroying black's influence. And if black answers, then there is no weakness anymore, because we can simply play like this and that. Yeah, maybe we should have prepared for the fight, and this was indeed a powerful play by black, though it's rather expected that white did not expect it. So then the game continued, and white, I hope white made life. Yeah, white made life. White can just make twice, but white certainly doesn't have enough points if black takes all of that. So white was fighting to get a bit better result and maybe to finish in center, kind of. But then then the end game followed, and at one point white just played in a brave manner, not answering to black's center move, but this was just a kind of last hope to change something in the game. It didn't work, and white resigned. Yeah, so that's all about this game. White fought well, and in fact, this outrageous cut of black, this one was quite good, I believe. It was quite good. So white should probably either play such a slow move or try to prepare and then jump. This would make sense. Or like, in fact, it's already enough, such a preparation, but we can also think of playing further. Yeah, so that's all about this game, and let's move to the next one, and it will be the last one for today.